Hi friends, Tessa's here with some Serenity Sweater sewing inspiration. Now you guys know I love Serenity Sweater, and this week I have hacked it to have a hood. Why a hood? Because a hood helps you stay cozy, and I definitely need more cozy clothes in my life. And when I have all of these pattern pieces in front of me, I cannot resist hacking. First things first though, Serenity Sweater is our $5 pattern of the week, and you can get it today only for $5. To help us celebrate and to give you lots of holiday sewing inspiration, Chloe is on the blog with a post all about sewing sequins. Now, Serenity Sweater is gorgeous as a holiday make with sequins, and Chloe's posts today on the blog will help you get all prepped to sew with this potentially tricky fabric. Okay, back to my hooded Serenity and where that came from. Because we have our patterns hanging up and everything's so easy to access, I thought how fun would it be to add a hood onto my Serenity Sweater. So in case you're wondering, this is how we store our paper sewing patterns now. We just hang them up using binder clips and a hanger, and we print labels from our label maker. We get it all organized, and it is all hanging super nicely, and it's just really inspiring to have everything out easily accessible. Because everything was so easy to access, I decided to make a full set using resolution bottoms, as well as the hood and cuffs from Sloan Sweater, and of course my trusty Serenity Sweater with the hemband. If you're wondering, I wore my Whistler sweater today, which is another really comfy make. So the first thing that I did after I gathered my patterns together was really think about my seam allowances and how adding the hood would affect the original pattern. I really didn't make any changes to the pattern, but I did need to take a second and think through how construction might change. So Serenity Sweater has a fold over neckline, and I decided that with adding the hood, I wanted to instead add a knit binding to that neckline, all the way from the bottom around the hood and to the other side. I really feel like fabric can make or break a project, and for this loungewear set, I wanted to make sure that I was using something that I would love to be in. So I've got a bamboo fleece backed sweatshirt fabric. It is so yummy. It's so great. I cannot wait to wear this. So next up, I laid out my fabric. I had probably 4 total yards, and I didn't use all of it. Like I said, I did not make any pattern alterations to add the hood. However, when I was cutting out the sleeves, I decided that I wanted to use the cuffs. So I did cut off part of the long sleeve portion of the Serenity sleeve to accommodate a cuff, and you'll see how that turned out at the end. Also, at this point, after I finished cutting out all my pattern pieces, I cut out about 90 inches of 1-inch strips from my main fabric. For this sew, I really tried my best to be efficient, so that meant that I pinned the main pieces together all at once, and then I brought those over to the serger and serged a big pile of things all at once. I also made sure to have both my sewing machine and my serger filled with thread so that I wouldn't have to stop and rethread at any time. I also think that doing batches of things, like batch sewing the top stitching or batch sewing cuffs, like for the sleeve cuffs and the leg cuffs, all at once is a great idea to get things done efficiently and quickly. Next up, I got my pockets on, and then I attached the hood, and I just started at the center back for both pieces and then pinned all along until the hood piece stopped. Then I checked it to make sure that it was exactly the way that I wanted it to be, and I really felt like even though the Sloan Sweater hood is a different kind of style, I feel like it worked really well on the Serenity, and I love that I didn't have to alter any pattern pieces to make it work. After I had done the majority of the serger work that I could do, I needed to attach the knit binding. I did, like I said, a 1-inch strip out of the knit, just going with the regular grain of the fabric. And I matched up the center seams of the binding and my hood. And then I just attached all the way down both of the wrap fronts. Next, I attached the knit binding with a 1/4 inch seam allowance all along the hood and the front pieces. This is what it looks like with that first pass done. Next, I'll fold over the binding and then pin and press it so that it will finish up nicely. Here's a little bit more of a close-up of the attached knit binding. Remember, that's an inch binding with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now I'm going to press it all along the hood and the front, trimming where needed. And I'm simply going to sew it with my sewing machine. I could use a cover stitch here, but I feel like a sewing machine is gonna do just as good of a job. I sewed the interior part of that binding, again with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Next, I attached the sleeves and finished the sew just exactly as the pattern directed. Again, the only changes that I really made to this pattern were adding on the cuffs and the hood. Everything else was just as the pattern called for. Remember that there is that hemband piece that's a pattern add-on that you can find with the Sewalong. All right, so there you have it, my ultimate, super easy, fun wrap sweater hooded lounge set using the Serenity Sweater, the Sloan hood, and the Resolution joggers. The cool news about this set is that Serenity is on sale today for just $5, and you can easily do a hack like this. And Resolution joggers are actually in the process of being updated to include sizes 4X and 5X. They are such a great pair of bottoms, and they have 4 other leg options with them, as well as, of course, pockets. I love my Serenity sweater with a hood. I know I can wear it with jeans, but I also love that I can wear it with my Resolution joggers as a full-on set, and that hood is everything. I'm so excited to wear this whole next season. Happy sewing!